his waist. He has spent the last 7 months as an ex-champion, and it's the first time as a pro that he is in a position to come back from a defeat, and the first time without Lou Duba and Georgie Benton, and he's led in the ring by Evander Stewart.
And it will be interesting also to see what happens to Holyfield inside the ring. With Evander Stewart, it's a different philosophy about boxing. Remember Tommy Hearns? Remember the big punches in the Kronk stable? Evander Holyfield is a wonderful boxer, not a big puncher.
The 30-year-old Evander Holyfield, and he hears it from the crowd. Both of these fighters have won more respect after defeats than any victories, and Holyfield hears it after the loss to Riddick Bowe, and Alex Stewart also gaining most of his respect after losing to George Foreman. He came off the canvas, 10 tough rounds. Many people thought he won that fight, and he takes that experience into this fight against Evander Holyfield.
A look at the tail of the tape. Evander Holyfield checks in at 212 pounds. He was 205 against Riddick Bowe. And now he's a pound lighter than the last time he faced Stewart, which was the heaviest Holyfield ever weighed for a fight. That night, he gave away 10 pounds to Alex Stewart. Tonight, it's 16. And now, this is how the champ sizes up the strategies going in on the blackboard.
On the boxing blackboard, brought to you by Pringles Potato Chips. Former heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield. This will be a real technical match. Basics pay off. Carry your right hand high. Alex throws a hard left hook, and you're always in the best of shape, Evander. Give Stewart a gut check with a busy pace. Really turn it up late on Alex Stewart. Bowe landed with overhand rights. Snap those only to set your left hook. And test your power early, Alex. Try to catch him cold. You must stay calm. Don't punch yourself out. Just put them together. Concentrate to win one round at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Atlantic City, New Jersey, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. This is a title elimination bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 228 pounds. His professional record, 32-4, 32 KOs from Safety Harbor, Florida. He's ranked in the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. He is Alex, the Destroyer, Stewart. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim, weighing in at 212 pounds. His professional record, 28-1, 22 KOs. This 1984 Olympic medalist is a former two-time champion from Atlanta, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the former heavyweight champion of the world, Evander, the real deal. Will give the pre-fight instructions.
Gentlemen, you folks received your pre-fight instructions. Any questions here? All right, I might want a nice, clean contest. Let's touch gloves, touch them up. Let's go to work.
Evander Holyfield says being an ex-champ is not difficult. You never really get a chance to enjoy it when you are the champion. And that to him, going after the title was the fun part, and he is in the same position right now. The weight is off his shoulders. He has generated his motivation. He says he is excited again, and he goes up against a slugger. Unlike other heavyweight contenders or heavyweights who come out of retirement, although just a 7-month retirement by Holyfield, he takes on a very dangerous puncher in Alex Stewart, who has 32 knockouts in his 32 wins, although those, quote, prelim type fights, when he has stepped up against the biggies, Stewart has not come through. He has lost 4 fights. He has lost his fights to Holyfield, Tyson, Moore, and Foreman. And a big problem for Alex Stewart, especially in the Tyson fight, is that he has had to endure stage fright, freezing up in the big moments. But
He now says with the experience of those 4 fights, he has the composure, he has matured, he has the confidence, and that's what he takes into this fight against Evander Holyfield, something he did not have 4 years ago.
And he's won the last 4, Al, including when we saw him against Marshall Tillman back in August of 1992. In that fight, I was impressed with Alex Stewart and what he had learned from round to round. He learned patience, he learned speed, timing of the match. He was able to land at will the left hook and then finally take out the survivor in Marshall Tillman in the final round.
Holyfield was closing in on a world title fight, was unable to put a fight together with Tyson as he fought Alex Stewart. Stewart was 24-0 with 24 knockouts. He said he hit Holyfield, but Holyfield didn't go down, and that never had happened to Alex Stewart before. And he was unprepared to go beyond 3 rounds. Well, Stewart hurt his hand in the first fight. In the second round, Holyfield was suffering from the flu, and he couldn't take Stewart out early, so he kind of got tired as the fight went on. But Stewart was cut over the eye, and eventually that fight was stopped in the 8th round.
Yeah, he said it was a tough match. He said, I was so glad to get it over with. Evander Holyfield did.
Stewart expects Holyfield to come out and pressure, but Evander Holyfield now under Emmanuel Stewart have taken a look, especially since the Bowe fight, and they want Holyfield to be less the warrior, to be intelligent, and he comes out with some jarring shots. He says, if you hurt a man, then go in.
Nice uppercut from Holyfield.
And there it is again.
You know, remember the Burt Cooper fight, all uppercuts. Evander Holyfield realizes that is a terrific punch.
Stewart wants Holyfield to brawl.
Oh, and Stewart is cut over the left eye.
But not brawl like this.
There's a nasty cut.
Stewart looking to get in the right. He says Riddick Bowe is able to get in the right once Holyfield started to brawl. Stewart gets through the first.
Big round for the real deal Holyfield. Alex Stewart is cut over the left eye. He was stunned with those uppercuts in that opening round. There's a look at the cut. Good cut man in his corner, Al Gavin.
Don't worry about it. It's fine out.
It is in a bad area. Here is the punch that stunned Alex Stewart from Evander Holyfield, taking control. Kaboom! The right hand. Sneaky uppercut. When Alex Stewart goes on the inside, he leans over. When he does, whack. There's the uppercut comes up.
Got to move. Yeah, you got to move.
Well, he put some coagulant on earlier. Now some Vaseline over the top of it.
Got to move
just to moisten that cut.
Okay.
No rough edges.
Almost video replay, but it's the other eye this time.
But you look at the poise now. Former heavyweight champion of the world. You look at the control he has in a fight. Look at that opening round. He came out and he just took control. He's been there before. Been to the top and back again.
Evander Holyfield's big weapons, his conditioning, his heart. He's taken many punches along the way, but he always kept the pressure on and wore out his opponents, especially the older opponents.
Never in a bad fight, though. Always, Evander Holyfield gives 100%.
But at the age of 30, I think he realizes, along with Emmanuel Stewart, that he's not the biggest heavyweight, not the biggest puncher. He's not going to wear out the big young fighters.
Ooh, nice right hand right on that cut from Holyfield.
And he wants Holyfield to become more of a intelligent fighter, more of a thinking fighter, to stifle the warrior instinct.
Very impressive first couple of rounds for Evander Holyfield. Alex Stewart just must start throwing punches. You know, we saw him so good with that left hook against Marshall Tillman. We've not seen very many of those in this fight.
And the question for Holyfield, the big one, is developing a style in which he knows when to attack, when to back off. And he's being very patient here with an injured Alex Stewart, cut, and a bad cut over the left eye.
Yeah, and patient control. The cut is bleeding once again from Holyfield. He is match, doing what he wants to. He's controlling from the outside with the jab. When he goes in, he controls with those uppercuts.
And Stewart hasn't been able to get off yet.
No, not at all. Stewart is concerned about the later rounds of this match. When they met before, he ran out of steam late in the fight. He didn't want to do that in this match, but he has to worry about getting to that second half of this fight, because he is getting clobbered here in the first couple of rounds, taking all these shots from Holyfield. Now, if you're Holyfield, I think if I were him, I would try to take this man out. He's not, Alex Stewart is not punching.
But I think in the back of the mind for Holyfield is the Bowe fight, where he said his ego took over and he wanted a war with a bigger guy, and he fought the wrong strategic fight. Now, in this fight, Holyfield looks like the bigger fighter. He's outweighed by 16 pounds. Although I might add, the weigh-in was a couple of days ago. And Evander looks as if he may have put on a few extra pounds, more than the 212 that he weighed in at.
Well, the real deal may have had a real meal. Had a real meal.
Down to 15 seconds in the second round. This is scheduled for 12. And this is another of the elimination fights, with nothing guaranteed, but you know the winner will be in a world title fight soon.
The winner will win.
Fantasy beyond your wildest dreams. Fantasy 1-900-660-4000. Fantasies adults only. Fantasies $5 per minute. Fantasies 24 hours a day. Fantasies.
Mixed nuts never give you enough of your favorite nuts, but new Fisher favorites are all favorites. Pecans, almonds, peanuts, lightly coated with luscious flavors. Toffee, honey glaze, praline, plus large whole cashews, so...
That's my favorite. No, that's my favorite.
Every nut is your favorite. New Fisher favorites.
Getting set to start round 3, but this is what happened back in round 1. Our crew found where the two heads come together, and it caused a cut on the left eye, that cut that is giving a lot of trouble to Alex Stewart. Leading much of the second round, and it opened up in the first round. And at the end of the first, this is 3.
One of the priorities coming into this fight for Holyfield was to think out there, not to get into a slugfest. And Emmanuel Stewart said, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes the distance. And Holyfield is really taking his time against a man that he had caught in the first round.
Yeah, real strategic fight so far. Holyfield, you don't want to rush in there. You want a clean knockout if you can knock somebody like an Alex Stewart out. Alex must get punches together. He look at backing up all the time.
You know, the last fight, Stewart said he decided to make it a war because he was looking at the big guy overwhelming the small guy theory. And he knows that Holyfield likes to war, to prove that he could stand in there with a big guy. So Stewart coming into this fight feels that when Holyfield gets into the heat of battle, that he would revert back to what he knows best, and that is to be the warrior and slug it out. But Stewart has not been able to draw Holyfield into a battle, because Stewart has essentially been taking the defensive posture, now trying to open it up here midway in the third round.
Yeah, they told me that they wanted to get the first couple of rounds behind them. Well, they got them behind them, but they also have a big problem in that cut over the left eye. Alex Stewart is wondering also how much the Riddick Bowe loss took away from Evander Holyfield. It was his first loss. He lost his trainers, and he lost his championship. If it were anybody other than Evander Holyfield, I would say that it would be a problem.
And Holyfield now, 7 months later, looks back at the loss to Riddick Bowe
says, well, some days you're not at your best. Doesn't mean you should quit. Versus Bo, he didn't think he gave his best strategic fight. After the fight, he did think he actually won the fight, but he now will admit that he made that strategic error. But certainly looks forward to correct that the next time he fights Riddick Bowe. 30 seconds left in the third.
And I hear through the grapevine that an offer was made to Riddick Bowe, who is here in the crowd, of $13.5 million to face Evander Holyfield again. That fight could happen.
Well, I think if you dethrone a champion, especially a guy who's been there for 2 years, that you should give him a rematch.
And it was a great fight.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
I hit the floor at 9 a.m. and I'm going non-stop till we close. That's why I fix a dent and forget it.
An all-night shift and 5 cups of coffee, no problem. Now I fix a dent and forget it.
Even in the hottest liquids, when other adhesives stop holding, Fix-A-Dent holds stronger and longer.
Why not? Now that he switched to Fix-A-Dent, he can go from morning till night and still eat like that.
For the strongest, longest hold, Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
Packed in at the Convention Center in Atlantic City to watch this main event, the former heavyweight champion, Evander Holyfield, and Alex Stewart. Stewart ranked as high as number 5 in the world in the WBC. Holyfield number 1 by the WBC. Trying to work his way back to a championship fight with either Riddick Bowe or Lennox Lewis.
That's a good left jab from Stewart. Stewart must get control of that jab. Holyfield will eat you alive with that jab. Very effective punch.
Is Evander Holyfield showing restraint?
Yes. How much different this fight is from the Riddick Bowe fight. He says now he admits that he made a mistake in that Bowe fight. Well, he's not going to do that here in this match. He's going in, scoring, and then moving. He's controlling the tempo and the pace. Kaboom!
Big right hand by Stewart. Now, Stewart has always been known as an offensive fighter, not a defensive fighter. And he has found when he stepped up to the level of championship contenders, he had taken too many gambles, which he didn't have to pay for when he knocked out his 32 victims, who certainly are not of higher class.
Boom, another good right hand from Stewart.
But against these guys, he'd take the gambles, miss the shots, leave himself wide open. So he came into this fight knowing that he had to be better defensively, a tighter defense, had more of a fight plan, to move more, to box. Because before, first thing he would think about was getting guys out there in a hurry. So you see also Stewart showing that restraint.
And when you learn to fight, you learn how to beat your opponent up. Nobody teaches you how to take punches. They don't want you taking any punches. Nobody teaches you how to survive these onslaught attacks from your opponent. Nobody teaches you how to fight when you're hurt.
So Stewart, who had knocked out his first 24 victims, is setting a record, U.S. record along the way, but when he stepped up to the Holyfields and the Tysons and the Moores, he didn't know how to survive. Got into trouble, and he was through. And then he learned a little more of that against Foreman, going the distance against George. Had George putting on those sunglasses after the fight.
Oh, he was on fire when he first took off in his boxing career and started ascending up the ladder. You know what's happening here? Alex Stewart has landed some good shots in this round. Evander Holyfield went back to what worked in that second round, and that was those uppercuts.
But Stewart found out in the first fight against Holyfield that he can certainly take a good fight. Said, I hit Evander with shots that he just didn't go down. Everybody else did.
have a fantasy of someone special to share it with. Don't you agree? Well, now you can find that special someone with just one simple call to 1-900-737-4000. And it's only $4.95 per minute for adults 18 and over. Enjoy the fun of meeting someone new. Call 1-900-737-4000.
Because even the best need attention. You know what I mean?
Some girls just love to have fun on the phone. That's where we like to share most of our secrets. You can listen in on us. It's all up to you. Call 1-900-737-6000. Just $4.95 per minute for adults 18 and over. Find out how much fun you can have with the right woman. All you have to do is call 1-900-737-6000. Call now.
Best shot of the night for Alex Stewart. He has a big left hook, but boom, there is a crunching right hand. You know, that right hand, and other punches like that early in that last round made Evander Holyfield more determined. He went back to those uppercuts.
Alex Stewart, born in London. As a youth, grew up in Jamaica, moved to Brooklyn, New York, now living in Safety Harbor, Florida. He has had 36 professional fights, of which 35 of them have ended in a knockout. 32 on his side, 3 on the other. The only fight he went the distance was the fight against George Foreman last April. So the percentages are high when Stewart steps in the ring that there will be a KO.
Yes, heavy hitter, kaboom. Nice right hand from Evander Holyfield. When that Foreman fight, Stewart said, I thought I did enough to win. The first 2 rounds, I didn't stick to my fight plan, though. He said in the 8th round, he hit me with one good right, and he won the round. Speaking of George Foreman.
Evander Holyfield won the cruiserweight title in his 12th professional fight, taking on former champion Dwight Cowie. He would make 5 defenses successfully. This is Evander Holyfield's 12th heavyweight fight.
And says that there is no doubt in his mind that he will be champ again. Evander Holyfield.
Riddick Bowe, the only loss to Holyfield, and Holyfield's first loss since his controversial Olympic defeat in 1984. But Holyfield was getting no respect as a champion. But remember, he was going out and selecting opponents like Foreman and Holmes. Bert Cooper, of course, who stepped in on the last minute's notice. But Holyfield, not a champion that was bigger than life. Didn't move the public like the Tysons, Ali's, even Foreman at this point, you know what George does. So he looked to define himself against Riddick Bowe, and he abandoned his fight plan. He wanted to go after the spectacular victory against Bowe, and he certainly went down in a blaze of glory. Gallant effort. Never did receive the kind of praise that he has in defeat.
Yeah, and then after the fight, he retired. But I tell you, after every fight, I retired. I mean, that's something fighters do. I'll never do this again. Why did I do that? Well, then when the soreness wears off, when the bruises heal, when the hands feel better, that's when you say, huh, that wasn't too bad. And he took a look at the tape. He said, hey, I almost won this fight. That's why he's fighting again.
Some girls just love to have fun on the phone. That's where we like to share most of our secrets. You can listen in on us. It's all up to you. Call 1-900-933-6500. Just $4.95 a minute for adults 18 and over. Find out how much fun you can have with the right one. All you have to do is call 1-900-933-6500. Call now.
Kirk. That thing is 20 hours away from Earth. We know nothing about it as yet.
Spock.
I sense no emotion.
Bones.
Why is any object we don't understand always called a thing?
Chekhov.
Shall I go to battle station, sir?
Sulu.
4.8.
Uhura.
This is the Enterprise.
surprise. We are under attack.
Scotty, can I guarantee that she'll hold up? Star Trek, the motion picture on USA. Saturday at 8, 7 Central.
The well-defined body of former heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield steps in the middle of the ring against Alex Stewart. Round number 6 of a scheduled 12-rounder. Daniel Stewart wants Evander to use the jab. That cut opened up over the left eye of Alex Stewart in the first round. And it has not been a major factor unless you consider it has maybe kept Alex Stewart at bay, trying to give a chance for the cut to heal before he opens this up.
Well, he should start opening up now. In fact, he is. And this round is the round that he said he wanted to pick it up the last half of the fight. But he is having all kinds of trouble with that uppercut.
In the first fight, Stewart said it was the pressure of Holyfield and the uppercuts. So Stewart hasn't learned from that first fight as far as the uppercuts are concerned.
That is a hard punch to block. You have to block it. Take your hand out of a normal position to block the uppercut. You cross him over like George Foreman does, crosses his hands in front of his face. That is one way to block it. If you pull back away from the uppercut, you leave your head exposed, you get hit with another punch. It is a wicked weapon. If you miss the uppercut, you hit up under the nose. If you go short of the uppercut, you hit your opponent right in the solar plexus, or in the pit of the belly, or lower and worse. It is a wicked punch.
And now some boos, chorus of boos coming from the crowd, who I think right now would rather see the old Evander Holyfield applying the relentless pressure.
Well, Evander's throwing hard punches. He's just throwing them in single shots without putting the combinations together. One shot again. No single punch at a time.
And you know, heavy on the mind of Evander Holyfield was the Riddick Bowe fight, which he thought he let his ego get a hold of him. And he is being very patient, holding back in this one, maybe even overcompensating in that area. Key words is from Emanuel Stewart, just fight an intelligent fight. Don't go in there and slug it out.
The laboratories of 2001 announced a major breakthrough in auto protectant technology, Formula 2001 Super Protectant. Its advanced SunStop formula helps protect against the sun's UV rays, extreme temperatures, and moisture, which cause fading, drying, and cracking. What's more, independent lab tests prove Formula 2001 provides a more brilliant, longer-lasting shine than Armor All on vinyl and leather. But what if your car's surfaces are already faded? We went to the Arizona desert to put Formula 2001 Super Protectant to the ultimate test. Watch what happens to UV faded vinyl, rubber, even dried faded leather. Get the new standard in automotive protectant technology, the one with 50% more active shining ingredients than Armor All. Formula 2001 Super Protectant with a fresh leather fragrance. And for the unique demands of tire care, get new Formula 2001 Tire Foam and Shine. Just spray and walk away. Get 2001 at these fine stores.
Hammer in the corner of Evander Holyfield, co-promoting this event, and is one of the backers now of Evander. They became hard friends. Hammer, of course, a great sports enthusiast. And after Holyfield lost to Riddick Bowe, took Evander into his home and basically encouraged him to rest and think about coming back. Hammer said boxing not much different than show business, and that Evander didn't give it his best closing show. You don't want to go out and close the show that way.
His crowd is wanting some hammer time from Evander Holyfield. Emmanuel Holyfield.
But I tell you, Alex Stewart heard it from his corner when he went back. Jimmy Williams in there, Al Gavin urging him to let the hands go. Said, hey, you have 32 knockouts. Not enough action from Alex Stewart, according to his corner.
He's landed well with the right hand, but remember, his big power is in the left hook. He's not throwing the left hook very much. He should set that left hook up. He has landed some good right hands. If he could put the right hand and the left hook together, he would score effectively.
They are thinking in Stewart's corner, they're going up against a Evander Holyfield that's not showing you his trademark of that tremendous pressure. That he is standing in front, but Stewart just not unleashing.
We know one thing that Lou Duba, the old corner of Emmanuel Stewart, was concerned with late in his career. Holyfield was concerned with late in his career. He quit spending so much time in the gym. Perhaps that is reflecting in this match.
Well, you know, he spent a lot of time in the gym for this fight. It's the comeback. The adrenaline is going again.
Boom, nice right hand again from Stewart. The right hand, no left hook. Now the crowd is sometimes impossible to knock these fighters out with just one punch. Not the fighters on the level of Evander Holyfield. You have to put 2, 3 punches together. And Holyfield, of course, never been knocked out.
These are two fighters who get in there and slug it out. That's been their reputation. But because of that, they have both come in the defensive modes. And as Emmanuel Stewart said before the fight, he would not be surprised if this one went the distance.
Yeah, a lot of respect for one another, which occasionally happens if you get two punchers in the ring together. They respect each other's punching power so much that they refuse to hit one another. The bell rings, they stand up, and they start backing up.
You work harder, you get better, right? But working to condition my perm made it flatter. Then I found this, a new Pert Plus, just right for perms. Using a separate conditioner after you shampoo can flatten your perm. This is better. It leaves hair fuller. It cleans gently, then conditions just where you need it. So your hair is fuller and soft, too.
New Pert Plus for permed and color-treated hair. Fuller hair. No fuss.
I'm a diver. I hunt for treasure. First one to the wreck has the salvage rights.
Go!
How long could you hold your breath for $3 million worth of diamonds?
I believe you have something that belongs to me.
The first one up could be the next one down.
We've got to get him. I don't care what it costs.
Robert Wagner, Ben Cross, Deep Trouble, a USA world premiere movie. Thursday night at 9, 8 Central.
USA's Tuesday night fights on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Looking back at Evander Holyfield and Alex Stewart, a fight that took place June 26th. Holyfield's first fight back in 7 months after losing his crown after a 2-year reign. Losing to Riddick Bowe, who is in attendance for this one. And what do you think Riddick Bowe is thinking right now?
He's probably thinking,
sign
that rematch. He's probably thinking, come on, Evander. Because they've had conversations about fighting the rematch fight with Evander. Evander must get by Alex Stewart here.
Not only that, you want to make that attractive, marketable rematch, and Riddick Bowe also hearing the boos from the crowd through the course of this fight.
Exactly.
And here they are again, right on cue. And Evander Holyfield also comes into this fight knowing that he is making somewhat of a style change. And the question of whether the boos of the crowd may woo him to once again slug it out against the slugger in Stewart. Stewart trying to get Holyfield to open up. In the meantime, Stewart certainly not opening up.
Well, Stewart has had trouble in the past with his left hand, and it appears that could be what's the matter with that left hand in this fight.
Stewart has gone the distance of 10 rounds just once. Believe it or not, he has been past the 8th round. In 36 fights, he's been past the 8 rounds only 2 times. He's been past the 4th round only 6 times. So that pacing certainly part of the factor for Stewart. And this is not the hard-slugging Alex Stewart we are seeing tonight. Although he's trying to bring the crowd.
And he is picking up some
Yes, he is now.
He's the one punching. Holyfield is not.
Stewart trying to finally pick up the pace. He has been fighting with the cut over the left eye since the 1st round. It has been reopened here in the 8th. This is where their first meeting nearly 4 years ago was stopped because of a cut over the right eye of Alex Stewart, one that then was opened in the 2nd round. Reopened in the 6th, and Stewart was a bloody mess by the 8th round, and that was a slugfest, and it was finally stopped. There's a combination by Holyfield. Stewart returns, and a furious finish in the 8th.
One common thread that has run through every personal injury case that I've handled is that a person has been injured as a result of the negligence of another. They may incur medical bills, hospital bills, or they may be so severely injured that they're required to miss work. If this has happened to you, you may wish to retain an attorney to help you protect your legal rights. We'd like you to consider the law firm of Allen & Sarkeesian.
For a free initial consultation, call Leon Sarkeesian at Allen & Sarkeesian.
Harper's Warehouse Home Improvement Center specializes in first-quality merchandise at factory direct prices. Also, factory irregulars at tremendous savings. Right now, save 50% on Whirlpool tubs. Harper's has a large selection complete with motor and warranties from $4.99 to $9.99. Also, save on self-contained spas at factory direct prices. For tremendous savings on most of your home improvement needs, come to Harper's Warehouse Home Improvement Center in Michigan City.
This 8th round was the same round that Evander Holyfield ended this fight before. He tried to turn it up at the end of that round to try to end it again. Has he progressed or regressed? He has to be asking himself this question now.
That, though, the best flurry of the fight. And as Alex Stewart came out for the 9th round, the final instructions he heard was, round 9, make it a war.
So he does.
Well, he certainly should be well rested going into the final 4 rounds. Certainly a stark difference in Alex Stewart. Wind him up, get it over quickly. He, too, showing tremendous restraint, too much as far as the fans are concerned.
Yep, I'll bet the left hand of Alex Stewart is giving him problems. He's thrown the right hand well, but not much in his left hook, and that is where his power is.
Just pawing at Holyfield with the left.
Evander Holyfield is just stronger physically. And Alex Stewart, he is manhandling Alex.
Weighing in at 16 pounds less than Stewart, and that's hard to imagine when you look at these 2 fighters in the ring. You say, no way.
Right, Stewart is physically bigger. But it is Holyfield is manhandling Alex Stewart in this fight. Somebody is really breathing heavy, and I believe it's Holyfield. Sounds like I thought there was a steam train coming through here. that is Holyfield that I hear.
It's been 7 months for Evander Holyfield. Well, you questioned earlier of whether Holyfield had been training correctly or enough for this fight.
It appears that he has not spent the time in the gym that he should, which is a shock.
Which is unlike Holyfield.
He has always been in the perfect condition. But he is breathing heavy. Breathing heavy and looking sluggish. Those gloves are heavy, the hands come down. And breathing through his mouth.
Not as if he's been taking any punishment.
He's been dishing most of the punishment with those uppercuts.
Your teeth aren't flat, are they? Of course not. If they were, a flat brush would be ideal. But since your teeth are shaped like this, we designed our brush like this. Introducing Crest Complete. Your dentist uses special instruments that get between teeth. Crest Complete gets between too, up to 37% farther than the leading flat bristle brush. So to help maintain a dentist clean at home, get new Crest Complete. Only Crest could make a brush this complete.
General Nutrition Center's Pro Performance Amino 1000, the scientifically developed protein supplement that can help give you the edge. Fast-absorbing Amino 1000 soft gel capsules, exclusively at General Nutrition Centers.
Red Devil Enamel. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary paints, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil Enamel for the finish of a lifetime.
Evander Holyfield and Alex Stewart continue to hear it from the crowd, and not in a positive nature. Scheduled for 12. Not a championship fight, but it has been labeled an elimination fight, and so far it looks like both fighters may be eliminating themselves from a championship matchup.
Either eliminating themselves or convincing the champions to fight them. One of the two.
The champions licking their chops.
Yes, right, one of the two.
But both fighters coming in as going through the style changes. That's perhaps what they may say afterwards. And maybe thinking too much. Here you have two instinctive fighters who love to brawl. And we've had one flurry for about 8 seconds of that.
He got back in the 8th round. Even the referee's asking him to go to work. A lot of posing from two heavyweights.
Halfway through the 10th round. And if you're scoring, you got to feel, though, Alex Stewart just hasn't done enough to make an impression on the scorecard.
Yeah, I've been on to Evander a little bit, but Alex Stewart hasn't done anything to make Evander work. And he is missing a big opportunity. What a win over a former champion could do for his career, for anybody's career.
Well, with all the experience that Stewart thinks he has picked up in his 4 ready for prime-time fights, maybe he's coming in with just a little bit too much respect for Holyfield.
Yeah, he should fight Holyfield like he fought Foreman. Combinations, barreling in, busy pace. This fight, he looks as though he is a ailing fighter looking for the final bell. You know, we talked earlier about his left hand, the potential of that left hand being hurt once again. He appears like a wounded fighter.
Well, some feel that Alex Stewart just doesn't have anything left. And hard to convince that they are wrong. Now they open it up, crowd ready to respond to anything that resembles a flurry. 10 down, 2 to go.
first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Desonex. Do not stall. Desonex intercepts athlete's foot before it turns ugly, killing those grungy fungi before they get cracking and burning. There's a can at the store with your salvation in it. Come get it, or else don't blame Desonex. And for jock itch, Crew-X is the #1 cure. Crew-X kills jock itch fungus.
Women's intuition, woman's prerogative. Sometimes only a woman's point of view will do. Call me right now, and let's talk about it. Just you and me. It's not a gab line. It's not a date line. It's a chance to hear a woman's thoughts and feelings.
1-800-967-CUTE. $3.50 per minute, adults only.
Let's talk about it right now.
Well, if you've been away for the last few rounds, this is the only action you've missed.
Yeah, it's been mostly two fighters on the outside. Holyfield with a lot of boxing around. Cautious to go into the inside. Stewart allowing him to box around.
Well, they had a pretty good slugfest back in '89, and both fighters saying styles make fights. Now, we only wish we had those fighters flashing the styles from '89.
Yeah, a lot of times a rematch will not live up to its original fight either. Because the two fighters know each other. They know what to expect.
Left hook by Holyfield, moving Stewart back in the corner. They felt pretty encouraged in the Alex Stewart corner after the last round. Felt that Stewart won that 10th round. Feel that he is very much in this fight if this goes to the cards.
Well, I thought he won the 10th round also, although I still have Evander Holyfield comfortably ahead in this fight.
Holyfield now has Stewart up against the ropes. What will he do?
And he's just manhandled him. There's the uppercut. An effective weapon for Evander Holyfield. Back to that steam engine goes Evander.
Both fighters are trying to make adjustments in their fight game, but I think both fighters are overdoing it in trying to make those adjustments. They've taken the fight out of fighting. Inside the final minute of the 11th round. Oh, the uppercut by Holyfield. And that rocks Stewart.
Stewart's hurt, wobbling.
Holyfield now goes to the body once again, crashing. And now Holyfield, here is his opportunity.
This is what Evander needs to resurrect this fight, to resurrect himself, to resurrect that title match.
Stewart also looking for some openings in Holyfield, hoping that he gets wild. 20 seconds left in the 11th. Stewart with a straight right, and again. And we will be going to the 12th and final round. In hopes that these two fighters have saved it all for the final 3 minutes. And exhausted, Evander Holyfield slumps into his corner.
Bottom line is, Evander has just not spent the time in the gym.
Good finish will save the fight. You need a good knockout to finish the showdown right. I need a knockout.
He looks as exhausted as he did at the end of the Bowe fight.
Here is the end of that last round, the big uppercut. Looked as though Alex Stewart was going to go down to the canvas, but he held on, moved away. Later in the round, Evander Holyfield again on the attack, moving forward. Good punches.
left hook and right uppercut.
But again, throwing just single punches. They want the left hook and the right uppercut together.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is round number 12. The final round.
Not training, or could you have that much ring rust in 7 months?
Well, sure you could.
Especially if you don't train.
That's right. That's right. But the fights, condition comes from the gym. On the road in the morning, doing your road work, working out in the evenings. It appears as though that's where he is lacking now. That's where he's missed.
Holyfield looked like he may make this a short night. Opened the cut over the left eye of Alex Stewart in the first round, but they're never able to capitalize on that.
And he may have been thinking that he could knock out Alex Stewart like he did the first time they met, because he's been breathing heavily like a steam engine since the 8th round.
Holyfield has gone 12 rounds on 3 occasions, against Foreman, against Holmes, and against Bowe. Stewart has never gone beyond 10. And he is right now trying for only his second distance fight in 37 appearances. The other one against Foreman. And that was the 10 round. The left hook by Holyfield. There's a big crowd here in the convention center, and I think it's safe to say they are not satisfied by this one.
No, they expect a championship performance. And
get off him.
Can you hear him breathe? I really hear Holyfield sucking air.
Looks like a tired face.
Yes. The arms are weary. Those gloves get so heavy. They're fighting with 10-ounce gloves, and they feel like 10 pounds.
It's actually turned out to be 12-round sparring session.
Yes.
For both fighters.
Rematch. Again, rematch doesn't live up to its original billing. It's an original intent.
But, you know, as we said in the beginning of the broadcast, when they met for the first time, they were both undefeated on the threshold, moving in on a championship fight. Both had something to prove when they met one another. And now, nearly 4 years later, they still have something to prove. What they prove?
Well, they didn't prove anything in this fight.
Now Holyfield opening it up in the closing 20 seconds.
Even if Holyfield gets a knockout here, but look at all these missed shots from Evander Holyfield. Again, the gym work. Not sharp.
Well, he gets 36 minutes in the ring, and you will hear it from the crowd as this one ends. Less than impressive. Evander Holyfield back in the ring. 12 complete rounds against Alex Stewart. Will have the decision when we return.
I've been waiting to hear from you. Sometimes if you're lonely, confused, or just need a friend, I'll be here. A woman's thoughts, feelings, ideas, a woman's caring. Call me now. There's no reason I can think of why you shouldn't. Can you?
$3.92 per minute, adults only.
I got a new taste that's pure delight. New Pringles sour cream and onion light. That's right. Rich sour cream and tangy onion. Mmm, that taste is really something, because the dip is in the chips, so delicious on your lips. Look, compare Pringles to regular chips. Pringles have less fat and they're less greasy too. The proof's in front of you. So grab a bunch of this, not that, and get a whole lot of taste and less of the fat. New Pringles sour cream and onion light. That's right. Once you pop, you, and you can't stop.
I can take care of myself in the ring, but in my car, I've got to protect a lot more than just my pretty face. Like George, and George. That's why I trust my brakes to Meineke. They're experts, so I get high-quality service at a low price. Heck, with all these Georges, I could use that extra money for food.
Now more than ever, at Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Budweiser, the king of beers, presents USA's Tuesday night fights from Atlantic City. Part of the crowd already heading to the exits, not even interested to hear the final decision of this 12-rounder. Evander Holyfield, a little swelling there under the left eye. Hammer again with encouragement in the corner. Here's
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Eugene Grant scores about 119 to 109. Frank Brunette and Al DeVito score it 118 to 110 for the winner by unanimous decision, Evander, the real deal, Holyfield.
And there are boos. I don't think there are any question about the scoring, but certainly about the performance. Evander Holyfield going the 12 rounds with essentially a non-combative Alex Stewart, and never turning up the heat, but going into the fight, it was Emmanuel Stewart. Says, hey, listen, we're working on certain things. Don't be surprised if this one goes the distance, and Stewart turns out to be the prophet. And it's time for